Statesman Nation. Here with Clayton Norberg, our defensive coordinator and linebackers coach here for the football team. Coach, appreciate you coming in for a little bit.
We're glad to be here.
We're breaking it up a little bit. Coach Hafner's like, hey, you know what?
Yeah.
Just talk to some of my assistants.
That's right. Someone else can do it.
You guys, yeah, exactly, and put you guys in the limelight a little bit. So, first off, I guess let's just talk about overall defense. I mean, you've had the defense for a couple of years now under your control, and the guys have performed really, really well, especially considering how young they are and little lack of experience coming into the season. But they showed well against Movell and Mid-Am. Baker's just a very, very good
Different
team, but I think overall, I think people should be really pleased and impressed with what you guys have done so far.
Thank
you. Talk about that whole defensive unit.
As far as defense goes, we do have some guys that are young in some different spots, but up front we are still very old, and with Hunter Berry being a big leader for us, kind of gets the ball rolling as far as what we are defensively, that we can lean on him, try to stop the run and do stuff like that. And everybody that was starting games in the secondary this year had started a game last year, so that was a big thing coming into last year, that our secondary was a little green in 2015. So this year we had some guys with some snaps under their belt that could really lean on that experience. And like you said, those first two games, we were very pleased with the way they played, their effort and all that stuff. And we preach effort defensively, that if we're running around pursuing the ball, a lot of good things can happen. And the one thing that we're really looking more for is consistency on a mental standpoint. That a few of the times that we've had issues, it was just guys not thinking or not putting themselves in the right spot or playing the wrong coverage. And if we eliminate those things, then we can have a success on a greater scale.
Yeah, it's one thing to be an overall athlete and just be a stud, but you also have to use your brain, obviously. I would say. So, as far as you guys are younger, but it seems like they've worked through that pretty quickly here. But what's the overall best asset and maybe the best strength of the defense, and maybe what's the biggest weakness you guys are trying to work through right now?
I got you. I'd say our asset is just the excitement they bring to playing defense. And I think they also believe that they are a good defense. That we know that when we line up on the field, we have a chance to stop people. We have a chance to go do this. So they're excited to play. They're excited to be great. And then that's huge. It's half the battle is believing in themselves. So, and I think the other half is now not just expecting to be great. Now we have to go and make sure we put the preparation in. And like I just talked about, the physical preparations, then our guys have lifted and they run and we're big, fast, and strong. But so like if we make sure we know the plays and know where our calls and different things and our checks a little better, I think more good things are going to come out of this defense.
Yeah, definitely. Let's rewind a little bit. A few days ago with the Baker game, that's a team that I had heard coming in, one of the better NAIA teams that are not just this year, but over several years. I've heard that from externally that it was going to be a tough game, and for a long time there we were right there. In with them, and we were giving up some yards, but we were not breaking. We were bending, not breaking. And they broke a few plays, and just an overall really stout team. And I guess just look back at that game and pull some positives out of that, things that you're going to be able to take for the rest of the year.
The big thing is that what's neat is that some of those tough plays that we're seeing in those different sets are exactly what we're going to see going into Central Methodist.
There you go. Okay.
So the positive there is that nothing against Central Methodist, they're not Baker, so we can go and line up and do some of those things and put ourselves in better situations. Now, they exploited us in some ways, and their quarterback was a heck of a player, and he's going to find who's out of spot, and he was going to find it. And so now it put us, hey, this is where you got to be. So we learned a lot about ourselves, about what we could do better, clearly by Baker exposing those things, and we're going to see offenses like that, so we know how to prepare and keep working and get better against those things.
Definitely, certainly. Now, I guess looking forward here, Central Methodist on Saturday afternoon, a team that just racked up a whole bunch of points against Culver Stockton. They are, they played a couple other teams pretty tight to start out as well. I gave Grandview some fits from what I saw of the score and such. So I think not a team that is going to can be overlooked by any stretch. New coach, obviously some new fire in that program.
Yes. So, like I said, they do a lot of the same things. They're going to try and spread you out. They want to score points, and that puts you, a lot of pressure on your defense to go make tackles in space, to make sure you're lined up, to not blow coverages on the outside.
Right.
Their quarterback's still a very good player, and I think anytime your quarterback is one of your best players in college football, you look from any level, D1 down to Division III, that if that your trigger guy can do good things for you, he's getting the ball every play.
Exactly.
Good things can happen. So he's scored a lot of their touchdowns on draws and scrambling around and creating, and so he does a lot of good things for them. And like I said, he's going to touch that ball a lot, and their running backs are very skilled. So they do a lot of great things that they're eager to get wins too, just like we're ready to get our first win. So this isn't going to be just okay, we're not playing Baker anymore. We still got to go play very well against a good Central Methodist team.
Definitely, and it seems I think they either had 1 turnover or 0. I'm trying to remember how it worked. But either way, they're not giving the ball up.
No.
They do a really good job holding on to it, which is key, and that's something that we will have to exploit both ways. We don't want to give the ball to them. We want to
find a way to
them.
Get it.
Exactly, more opportunities. What are some of the keys to success on Saturday?
We always talk about tackling. That we do want to create turnovers. That when we have a chance to get the hands on the ball, get your hands on it, punch and rip and do those things, get it on the ground. If he makes a bad throw, we've got to make sure that's ours. But what thing we can control, whether if he's not going to make a bad decision or someone's going to fumble, is we can control our tackling. So that eliminates the big plays. There's times against Baker where they hit us on something, but we could have tackled it 30, 40 yards before it got to the end zone. Limiting that damage allows us to get up and line up and play. So we want to focus on being better tacklers, line up and play good defense, and then turnovers will come because the more you tackle them, the more plays they got to run, and it puts pressure on the offense.
Definitely. Flipping gears, I know you guys don't work with the offense, or you don't work with the offense, but talk about that side of things, and I'm sure because you guys have had the meetings and such, but what have you seen from their defense that you guys feel like maybe there's an opening somewhere that
from when I talk to the coaches or walking to practice with our offensive coordinator, is that they are the same defense as Baker as well. So we're kind of getting a mirror image back-to-back weeks. So what they do is again something. So our game plan can be very similar. We can attack it in a similar way and say, well, this worked here, didn't work. Why? Was it scheme? Was it the X's and O's, or was it their players? And so a lot of the things that our guys up front and our blocking schemes could be very similar to this week going in, which allows for another level of success, kind of having the same scouting report 2 weeks in a row.
Exactly.
And so I know that up front they're big, and sometimes that can hurt us. Otherwise, we can just move to the outside, make those guys run quite a bit and get them tired. So I know we have some things in the game plan for multiple different things, but I think the ability to go and say, hey, we're going to get the same look again is beneficial to us.
Just looking at the 2 deep that's been released this week, looks like we're a little nicked up. Not surprising, especially three tough weeks. It's just this time of year, you can't wait to get to the bye week. Basically, hopefully that people can pop back before actually getting into divisional play. But I know your answer. I'm just gonna lead you into it. But basically, I'm sure it's a situation of next man up. You guys are pretty deep. Hopefully deep enough to weather these injuries.
Well, I think we learned that losing Walter Eastwood early on in the game against Baker is that it showed our defense that the next guy up can happen at any time. So even if a freshman had to stand up and play and get in there and go, and bullets started flying, you got to be ready. And so that kind of really showed everyone that how close you can be to playing, and everyone wants to be a starter, but it can happen at any time. So we just got to keep working every day at practice and focus on preparation, that everybody needs to know what's going on. It can't just be those 11 guys who run out there to start the game, because it's not always going to be those 11 guys finishing.
Right, exactly. All right, well, Coach, I know you guys are eager to get that first W knocked out and just get that monkey off the shoulder and get rolling. So, best of luck on Saturday afternoon. Hopefully, just go down there, take care of the Eagles, and like I said with Mason, start a little 8-game winning streak.
Hey, that wouldn't be too bad. 8-3 would be a fun ride.
Yeah, it would be real good. So, all right, Coach. Well, thanks so much.
Thank you.
Have a great Saturday afternoon.
Yeah, you bet.